If you have a Navy Federal Credit Union credit card, watch this video to the end because I'm going to give you all the info you need on how to increase your credit limit on your card. Hey everyone, this is George from the website nomorepoorcreditscore.com, and if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to this channel because the videos on this channel contain lots of helpful and important info for free that we should have definitely been taught already in school. And this video is going to talk about how to increase your credit limit on your credit card. But real quick, let's talk about why should you increase your credit limit in the first place? One reason why you may want to get a credit limit increase is because your credit score has improved over time. You've been responsible with your credit. You've been making on-time payments. You might have started out with a credit card that had a low credit limit of, say, $500, like with a secured card, perhaps, and you've been making strides and your credit is looking good. So now you think it's time that you increase that limit, and you rightfully should. I mean, if you've been doing all the right things, then why not contact your bank or credit company and see if you can get a much bigger limit? Go from 500 to 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000. Why not? You deserve it. Sometimes people ask for bigger credit limits because they plan on making a big purchase. Something like a big 60 or 70 or 80-inch flat screen or a nice long vacation to some island without maxing out or getting close to maxing out the credit card. Or maybe you want to do something like add a new addition to your home, like maybe adding on a new bathroom or getting a new roof, which can be kind of expensive. But home improvements are a good reason to give the customer service rep when they ask you, why do you need a credit limit increase? But we'll talk more about that later. Another reason why you may want to increase your credit limit is because you want more overall credit availability. The more credit you have, the better it is for you. But that's only if you can handle it responsibly, of course. Because like I said before, if you plan on making an expensive purchase, you don't want to max out your card, especially if you don't plan on paying it off by the statement date, so that you won't carry a balance over to the next month. And when you have more credit available, your credit score will benefit. By the way, go click the link in the description beneath this video to get 5 free credit boosting tips you do not want to miss out on. Go click that link and get these tips. You'll be glad you did. The number one best way to increase your credit limit is to just let it happen automatically. Yeah, that's right, I said it. Let it happen automatically. Don't do anything. Don't even ask for it. Just one day, take a look at your account and just look at the amount of money that you just happen to get overnight. It happens all the time. When you're treating your credit right and you're being responsible and you're paying on time, you're doing all the right things, you never know. All of a sudden, your bank or credit card company will reward you by increasing your credit limit 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, maybe 75,000, $10,000. It's happened to me before, a few times. That's why I just recommended that you get my free ebook so that you can learn some quick tips to get your credit score up. But I even remember a time in my life back when I was in college where my credit score was terrible and I had just got my first credit card and it only had $500 on it, and I maxed that card out or got damn near close to it. Like maybe I had about $450 used out of 500, and then all of a sudden one day they increased my credit limit to $1,500. I thought that was a gift and a curse all at the same time because I knew that give me more money, all I was going to do was use it up anyway, just like I did with the $500. So now I'm going to use almost 1,500, and that's exactly what I did. I maxed out that card. I didn't have the credit knowledge that I have today, and I destroyed my credit early on. But that was then. This is now. Now I have the knowledge that I wish I should have had back then. If you haven't been lucky enough to get a automatic credit limit increase, you can just go right to the Navy Federal website and sign on to online banking and submit your credit line increase there. Or you could do what I like to do, which is call them. I'd much rather talk to a human being as opposed to going on a website. But even though the website, it works, but I'd much rather talk to a human. Now, when you are ready to make your request, you're going to need some information. You're going to need your employment information, of course, where you work, and how long you've been working there. They're going to want to know that. They also want to know how much money you're bringing home, your yearly salary, and they're going to want to know your housing expenses. And they also want to know if you rent on your own. They're going to want to know how much rent you have to pay and what's your mortgage looking like. They will also pull your credit report, which basically means it's going to be a hard pull on your credit when you submit your credit line increase application to Navy Federal. You're going to give Navy Federal permission to obtain a consumer credit report so they can evaluate your credit worthiness, which means exactly what I just said. They're going to check your credit and it's going to be a hard pull, which is not a big deal. I mean, a hard pull should only take about 1 to 2 points off your credit score. And once you get approved for your credit limit increase, more than likely your credit is going to jump up regardless because you will have more available credit. Now, I just said when they approve your increase, but what if your credit line increase was denied? Well, if they say no, here are some of the reasons why they would deny your credit limit increase. They're going to send you a letter in the mail and they're going to tell you one of these reasons listed here on the site, on the letter, to let you know why they're not giving you your increase. So in this column it says if your letter says, and here's the explanation. So if they say your Navy Federal account is too new, they would like to see at least 3 months of timely payments before giving you an increase. They just want to make sure that you're able to pay your bill and pay it on time. I mean, think about it. If you were the bank and you had a new customer that you just gave a credit card to, wouldn't you want to know if they're able to make the payments on time before you give them more money? I mean, that just makes sense. The next one, there has recently been a change to the credit line on this account. And it says over here, we generally grant credit line increases on an existing credit card account no more than once every 6 months. So that means that you probably had already gotten a credit limit increase within 6 months and you tried to get another one. But they already made a change in your credit line, increasing it. Therefore, they're not going to do it again in such a short time span. So, in other words, just wait. Wait till 6 months is over, maybe 7 to 8 months, and try again. Next one down here says delinquent past or present credit obligations with others. I mean, you already know what that means. If your credit report shows you've paid one or more creditors late, that just shows Navy Federal that you're untrustworthy. You want to make sure that you're paying all your bills on time. It's very important. All your bills must be paid on time, first and foremost. You don't want to show any other creditor that you're building this habit of not paying anybody else. Because they figure, well, if you're going to pay somebody else late, then maybe they're next. And the bottom line is, no company, no bank, they don't want to hear about getting late payments or not being paid at all. So they're trying to protect themselves. You have to understand that. Next up is income insufficient for amount of credit requested. Based on information provided in your application, your current credit line is appropriate given your stated income. Basically means that because of the income that you have, they think they've given you the amount of credit that your income says you can sustain. Like, for example, let's say, just, for example, you're making $50,000 a year. They say your credit line should be about $25,000, and you ask for $35,000. They think that your $50,000 yearly salary can only handle a $25,000 credit line. So because of that, you can't get any more. That's what that means. Down here, next we have excessive credit obligations. And over here it says your credit report shows high utilization of revolving lines. Revolving lines meaning your other credit cards. And when you talk about high utilization of revolving lines, it just goes back to what I said earlier in this video about how you want to make sure your credit, you don't use more than 30% of your credit limit. So if you have $1,000 limit, you don't want to use no more than $300. Once your utilization percentage goes above 30% into 40s, 50s, and above, other creditors are not, they don't want to see that, because they want to make sure that they're dealing with a person who's able to handle their credit responsibly, and they want to make sure they're dealing with somebody who's not relying on credit for their day-to-day activities. And when you have a high utilization, it kind of shows that you rely on that credit. And when you rely too much on credit, it kind of shows the companies that you don't have the income to pay down these credit cards, and or you're just handling your credit irresponsibly. It's not a good way to look to other creditors and to other banks, because they're not going to give any credit to people who they feel that can't handle credit responsibly. Excessive credit obligations in relation to income. Your total monthly payment obligations exceed our debt to income standards. What Navy Federal is saying here is that all of your monthly payments that you pay every month, like your car, your mortgage, your rent, and whatever else you have, they're saying that you're taking on a lot of debt that you have to pay out, and they don't think you're making that much money. They think you're stretching yourself too thin based on the income you have. So if that's the case, the bank thinks that if you're not able to pay the bills that you have, if you're barely paying the bills you have, they don't want to give you an increase so that you can spend more of their money, making your credit card bill higher. Therefore, you may not pay that bill because you don't prioritize their bill as opposed to the other bills you may have. So you may end up skipping payments or making late payments. And like I said before, Navy Federal or no other bank or no other credit card company wants to deal with somebody that makes late payments or makes no payments. I think you should understand that. If you want to increase the chances of the credit card company increasing your credit limit when you call and talk to a customer service rep, you want to be nice. You can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Think about it. These customer service reps deal with crap all the time from customers. They get irate customers, they answer a lot of stupid questions. They're working, they're irritated. I mean, you never know what type of people they've dealt with before you decide to call. So if you just be a little nice and be polite and be cordial, ask nice questions like how's your day? How you been? How's the family? How's the job treating you? I mean, say be cool. Don't just talk to them and get into a conversation about what you want. You know, try to ask some questions and make a good conversation with them and just go back and forth, and maybe you never know, they might take a liking to you and give you what you want. I mean, you know talk to a human being on the other side of the phone like they're a human being, and you'd be surprised at how far that could possibly get you. Just saying, try it. Another powerful way to put yourself in the best position for a credit limit increase from any bank is to increase your credit score and remove negative items from your credit report. Don't you think you would have the highest chance of getting a credit limit increase if your credit score is high with a clean credit report? Click the video that the arrow is pointing to if you are truly serious about having the type of credit that you deserve, because you deserve it. Now, I know you don't like getting denied for anything, because I know I don't. And that's why I took it upon myself to educate myself more about credit and how to get approved for all the things I need and want. So do this. Click on this video now to see how you can get pre-qualified for Navy Federal credit cards. The pre-qualification can possibly increase your chance of approval. So go ahead and check out that video. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Enjoy the rest of your day.